And when he was the boss of the Bulls, he scored all the points, got all the glory, got all the fame, got all the accolades, but his team couldn't get past the first round of the playoffs. They would get their butts kicked every year. Michael Jordan started winning championships when he became a leader. And that's when he was still kind of bossy. He was still a little bit of a jerk, but he made sure he had a good team around him, and he empowered his teammates. He would make sure they had the ball. He would, make sure they got better in their position. And so leadership is really, to me, what's most beneficial. So circling back on that, that's why I don't think capitalism works as a good business model, because capitalism is based on kind of like this bossy oppression. Like, for example, capitalism says if you could force your worker to work for $10 an hour, but you could afford to pay them 15 or 20, you only pay them 10 because you can maximize your profits. I don't agree with that. I think that if you go ahead and do what Costco does this very well. Costco will pay the worker $20 an hour, even if they only have to pay 10. And as a result, they have so much more loyalty from their employees than companies that do the opposite. That's why Costco stock does so well. All right. So anyway, moving on. So the donation piece, I encourage everybody to kind of participate in that in whatever way fits for what you're trying to do. And also remember that money comes with power and influence. And so one way to have support and influence and let people know that you're there is to strategically give to certain things that matter to you, and then also make sure you have boundaries on that, because if people know that you're wealthy and you're a giver, then unfortunately you'll attract a lot of takers, and they'll just drain the life out of you. And so that's the challenge I know I've run into. Next, starting a side hustle. Everybody should know how to start a side hustle. If you remember, one of our beliefs in the Black business school is that every Black child should have own stock from the day they're born. Every Black child should know the difference between being a renter and being an owner. Every Black child should know how to start a business by the age of 12, right? So own stock, uh, acquire real estate, run businesses. That's how you make money. Now, the reason that everybody should learn how to start a business is not because everybody should quit their job and be a business owner. No, the reason everyone should know how to start a business is because you'd be amazed how much your life can change with just one little tiny side hustle. I want you to think about it like this. Quite often, how many of you have seen just a million times where someone has a good job that they like, but they're not making enough money? I want you to reflect on that. Let me know if you're reflecting on this, like where you felt this way, or people who felt this way, where, so they're arguing with their boss about how to get more money. I've gone through it. When I was at Syracuse University, I remember that every year we would have these crazy fights, because the chair would decide who got what raise. You get 2%, you get 3%, you get 1%. So I didn't like that. Maybe I'm just the guy who just doesn't want to stand in line at the grocery store. I want to figure out a better way to do it. So I said, I really don't want to fight with all these people over a 2% raise. That doesn't even excite me. That's not even very much money. I said, but if I can go out here and figure out how to make a little extra money on the side, I can give myself a raise. And it won't just be 2%.